On the morning of April 19th, 1995, 27-year-old Timothy McVeigh and his friend Terry Nichols, they drove to the Alfred Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City. It was a nice spring day, not a cloud in the sky. At approximately 9:02 that morning, Timothy McVeigh detonated a bomb in the building, killed 168 people and injured close to 700. 8 or so hours later, 6 NBA games were played. One of those featured Michael Jordan, who had just a couple of weeks prior had returned from an 18-month hiatus. Now, I was young at the time, only about 10 years old. Timothy McVeigh was accused of being a white supremacist, but it's strange. I don't remember NBA players protesting against white supremacy after the Oklahoma City bombing. April 20th, 1999. Eric Harris, Dylan Klebold, they woke up that morning to get ready for school. It was nearing the end of their senior year. Approximately 11:19 that morning, both guys armed with 9mm semi-automatic pistols, Eric Harris, Dylan Klebold, opened fire at Columbine High School. The shooting lasted about 50 minutes, killing 13 students before they took their own lives. The Columbine massacre was played on every news channel on television. But later that night, 12 NBA regular season games were played. I was 14 years old at the time, but I don't remember the NBA players of 1999 protesting about gun violence, gun control. I don't remember Gary Payton threatening to boycott NBA games because of what happened at Columbine. Back then, NBA players conducted themselves as professional basketball players, not political activists. Yes, what happened in Oklahoma City, what happened at Columbine was tragic. But it didn't mean that the world stopped spinning. It didn't mean the NBA schedule just ceased to exist. Games were on the schedule. People had bought tickets. You're paid to play the game of basketball. You have an obligation to the fans. You're paying customers to show up as scheduled. For 3 hours, both of those nights, people were given the opportunity to forget about the negativity and bullshit. If they wanted to continue watching what happened at Columbine, they could turn on CNN. If they wanted to temporarily forget about it, they could rely on the NBA to give them that reprieve. August 23rd, 2020, the girlfriend of 29-year-old Jacob Blake called the police in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Jacob Blake was not supposed to be at his girlfriend's house. He had outstanding warrants for domestic violence, amongst other charges. When Kenosha police tried to arrest him, Jacob Blake resisted. They shot him twice with a taser. Didn't work. He ran to his girlfriend's SUV, armed with a knife, and was shot 7 times. The thing is, it didn't have to end this way. All Jacob Blake had to do was cooperate with the police. It's not that hard to do. Millions of people have run-ins with police across the country every day. You know how many of them end up getting shot 7 times? Less than 1%. Instead of cooperating, Jacob Blake resisted, grabbed a knife, and is now paralyzed for the rest of his life. Normal people, while we might sympathize with what happened to Jacob Blake, normal people realized the police were in the right. Jacob Blake even later admitted he was going for his knife. Now, you wouldn't know that if you watched coverage of the NBA on ESPN. Even after Jacob Blake admitted this, Mark Jones claimed cops shot Jacob Blake when he was unarmed, and they shot him in the back. 3 days later, August 26th, 2020, the Milwaukee Bucks refused to participate in their first-round playoff game against the Orlando Magic. Well, KC, did they have a COVID outbreak? No, somehow the NBA was able to keep the flu out of the bubble in Orlando. Now, this was before Fauci fucking was available, but my inside sources tell me Fauci was still giving away free sessions of butt bongo to keep NBA players immune to the COVID. The Milwaukee Bucks, they refused to come out of the locker room to play the Magic to protest against mythical police brutality. I don't remember NBA players protesting police brutality when Rodney King got his ass beat by LAPD. They had that shit on camera. Yet 5 NBA games took place later that night. NBA players decided what happened to Jacob Blake was more important than basketball. As a result, fans agreed. They decided anything was more important than NBA basketball. The boycott of playoff games, combined with the disgusting wokeness permeating the NBA in 2020, led to the least watched playoffs in NBA history. The 2020 NBA playoffs averaged 3 million viewers, 2 million less than 2019. Well, KC, that's because they were playing in the bubble. There were no crowds. It had nothing to do with woke politics. That is the excuse given by the NBA and their friends in the mainstream media, but it's complete bullshit. Playoff ratings the following year, with crowds, second lowest in NBA history. The summer of 2020, everyone was at home. We were being needlessly locked down by a fucking lizard in a suit. If anything, ratings for the NBA playoffs should have been through the roof. But when your players make the determination that woke politics and mythical police brutality are more important than NBA basketball, fans agree. They watched reruns of Seinfeld instead. The NBA, they were barely able to recover from the boycotting of playoff games and everything else that happened in the summer of 2020. It was nothing but a useless virtue signal, and it accomplished nothing. Hell, the only thing it accomplished was driving fans away from the NBA. The message is abundantly clear. Sports fans do not want athletes to be political activists. No one gives a fuck about LeBron James' opinion on abortion. No one cares how Giannis feels about the shooting of Jacob Blake. I'm so emotional. I'm so hurt. I can't stand to see another black man who was trying to stab the police rightfully shot by him. Give me a fucking break. No one cares. We watch sports to escape the bullshit, not to be lectured by woke shitfucks who have no idea what they're talking about. Listening to the NBA's opinion on political issues, it's like listening to Janet Yellen about the economy. Did you see that shit yesterday? Janet Yellen is supposedly the Treasury Secretary. Her only job is to analyze and fix the economy. She left her nursing home yesterday morning, catheter in place, to testify in front of Congress about the Biden economy. Instead, she goes into a soliloquy on abortion and gun control, and then renewable energy. 3 issues she doesn't know shit about. She also doesn't know shit about the economy. The only purpose of her testimony yesterday was so she had a nice field trip. Janet Yellen had been locked in a nursing home for months playing solitaire with Joe Biden. Neither one of them have figured out solitaire's a solo game. But anyway, we have tangible proof. NBA players boycotting playoff games to politically protest severely damages the league. We are 2 games into the NBA Finals, and the ratings have been a disaster. I actually saw an article yesterday, I think it might have been on Outkick. The premise of the article, NBA Finals ratings aren't as good or as bad as they seem. Well, they're damn sure not good, but not as bad as they seem. Are we looking at the same ratings? If we took out the last 2 years, where ratings for the NBA Finals were absolute shit, the 2022 NBA Finals would be the 3rd least watched in the history of the NBA. And you want to tell me it's not as bad as it seems? Yesterday, the NBA continued their promotion of the NBA Finals. Jaylen Brown, he was giving a press conference in Boston, and a member of the mainstream media asked him about the possibility of players boycotting the NBA Finals. Now, normally I would demolish the stupid fucks in the media for asking a dumbass a question related to gun control. But I'm actually going to defend the media in this case. This dude was just doing his job. The NBA, they have opened themselves up to questions like this. Players are wearing those hideous gun control t-shirts before games. Steve Kerr's walking around with a stiffy in his pants, waiting for Anthony Fauci to partially satisfy him. The last 2 weeks, Steve Kerr has talked more about gun control than he's talked about the fucking Warriors. I'm not talking about basketball today. It's not important. Instead, I'm going to talk about something I know nothing about. Steve, are you going to talk about sex with a woman? No. I don't know anything about that either, but today I'm going to prove I'm a dumbass by talking about gun control. A member of the media asked Jaylen Brown about the possibility of a boycott during the NBA Finals. In his response, Jaylen Brown once again proved how out of touch the NBA is with their audience. Ladies and gentlemen, Behind the Line presents to you another soliloquy from a dumbass. Roll the film.
Do you think it would ever rise to a moment where players or coaches, or maybe both, would say, we know it's the finals, but I can't play tonight?
It could. I mean, you keep an open mind. You never know. Definitely things need to be addressed. Sometimes people argue and say that, stopping a basketball game or something, that what effect is that actually going to have on society? And I would say in response that it raises awareness, and that's important. It gets people's attention.
First of all, I can't play tonight? I can't play tonight. Why? Because something happened 2 fucking weeks ago? You know when Michael Jordan couldn't play? Never. He always played. You know when Kobe Bryant couldn't play? Never. Jaylen Brown claims a boycott of the NBA Finals would raise awareness. He claims it will get people's attention. He's absolutely right. If players boycotted the NBA Finals, it would raise awareness. It would get people's attention. It would raise awareness to the fact modern NBA players have no idea what their audience expects from them. It would get people's attention for a brief moment, then they would turn off the NBA. Know what it won't do? It won't change anyone's mind on gun control. It will change their mind about the NBA, though. This league was just beginning to recover. You were just starting to recapture the casual fan who's been missing for 2 years. On paper, this was a dream matchup for the NBA Finals, the legacy Celtics against the dynasty Warriors. And you can barely get anyone to pay attention. Less than 23 million viewers across 2 games. Game 5 of the 2017 NBA Finals, 24 million. And you think the best course of action, the best way to raise awareness is to not play? That's a brilliant fucking strategy. Guys, I know how to stop the negativity around our shitty ratings. Let's refuse to play. That way we can't get criticized for not drawing an audience. They don't get it. They just don't get it. Where is this same energy when it comes to gun violence in Chicago? Where's the same energy when it comes to rising crime in New York City? What about Seattle? People are shot and killed in those 3 cities every day. Most of the victims are black. How come we don't hear NBA players talking about it? Because those 3 cities have the strictest gun laws in the country. You think Jaylen Brown knows that? You think Steve Kerr knows that? Fuck no. These guys don't know shit about this issue. They are given talking points and they repeat them. They are being used for their platform and their supposed influence. But the truth is, gun control doesn't work. It doesn't stop mass shootings. With that being the case, why are they pushing it? If they can take guns away from you, they can completely control you. Just like we talked about the other day, the 2 Gs, guns and gay. Weaken future men by turning them into women and take guns away from the real men. The NBA is once again going down the path of no return. I don't know if people will be so quick to forgive them this time. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the ratings for Game 3. Series is tied 1-1. Ratings for Game 3 should increase substantially. But the NBA is turning so many people away, I wouldn't be surprised if they lost 1 million viewers. And that's assuming they even play Game 3. These soft shit fucks, they may decide to participate in the woke circle jerk instead. Or the weekly woke bath. I mean, it is Wednesday after all. The day social justice warriors come together to bathe each other in woke soap and pray someone drops it. Well, let me know what you think. Jaylen Brown admitting NBA players could boycott the NBA Finals. Will him admitting this turn people away? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, kc_btl84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.